Hello, everybody. It's Daryl T. Dixon. Welcome to another edition of the Daily Daryl. And I got to tell you, we had a few little problems along the way today. We had a few little computer issues where we couldn't get going with the live feed to Facebook. I think we've got that fixed now. I can tell now that we've got it fixed. Hanging out with John Mccauley today from St. Mary High School. And what we're wanting to do here is called the High School Showcase. And what we're wanting to do is showcase high school seniors from around our area, from all the different schools, athletically, academically, community service, musical, anything you can imagine. We want to showcase our best and brightest. I have easy access to John Mccauley. Been coaching him for the last 4 years, and he has a very unique story to tell. And so excited to share it all with you guys today. Very sorry about the technology. We were working on a new computer, and sometimes the Blue Jeans app that we use just doesn't quite catch up with Facebook fast enough. And so it takes me some time with some trial and error, and then talking to Blue Jeans and the tech support. But we're ready to roll today, and I want to welcome in John Mccauley from St. Mary's High School. John, how you doing, man?
Good, Daryl. How are you?
I'm good. I really appreciate your patience and hanging with me there through the trial and error and getting this thing going today. We're only about an hour late just getting started. I do want to tell everybody that's listening out on Facebook, and maybe I can type this into the app in a minute. If you got questions for Johnny Mac, type them in there. We'll try to get to them. We'll ask him while we got him on air. We've got a little more time with John today than we thought we were going to have because of good old Mother Nature raining everything out this weekend, or today and this weekend. So, man, John, tell us what you've been up to since basketball season.
Once basketball ended, pretty much the day after season ended, went straight to baseball practice, prepping for that season, and then pretty much just getting into baseball season right now and waiting for the summer, and then going off to college.
Well, speaking of college, I know that a lot of athletes do they commit to certain colleges and stuff on ESPN and SEC Network and all that. I know you had a little commitment ceremony last year on Twitter on Periscope, but for those who hadn't caught up with you in a while and want to know, tell everybody where you're going to college next year.
I'm going to Butler University to play baseball in Indianapolis.
Okay. And so what made you decide to go to Butler?
It was a lot of things. I really like the coaches there. They have a great coaching staff. It's a great city. It's a great university. You get a good education. A lot of things played into it.
Did you ever think about going somewhere where maybe you could play a couple different sports, or was it always baseball your number one?
It was always baseball, pretty much.
Because, I've kind of known you here for about 4 years, and you weren't bad at basketball either.
Yeah, I was all right.
So
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing with baseball at Butler, like when you get started, and how do the fall and spring semesters work?
Well, I'll start off. I just go and get into my dorm right when everyone else does in the fall. And pretty much right when I step on campus, fall workouts will start. After a few workouts, we'll start into fall practice for 6 weeks, kind of like spring football works. So we'll have fall practices and scrimmages. And then after that, we take Christmas break off and come back early January, get prepped for the season, and first games middle of February.
Okay. And then everything starts for real in February. I guess it's kind of a race to the NCAA tournament.
Yep, non-conference starts middle of February, and then conference games start about middle of April, and then conference tournaments in May.
Okay. And do you have to win your conference to go to the NCAA tournament, or the at-large bids, kind of like what we see in the March Madness in basketball?
There are at-large bids. It just kind of depends on how well each team does during the season. But if you win the conference tournament, you still go to the NCAA tournament with an automatic bid.
Okay. So maybe a higher seeding?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been keeping up with the Butler Bulldogs baseball team this year?
Yes, I have. They have gotten off to a really good start, 23-13. They won their first Big East series, just beat Indiana University on Wednesday. They're play Xavier today in the afternoon, getting off to a good start.
Okay. And just so everybody knows, are those in college baseball, do you play a lot of weekend series like Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, so your weekend series are your big series, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, and then you have midweek games that you play, usually one or two a week, Tuesday and Wednesday, just to kind of prep you for the weekend.
And then how many games would the average college baseball team end up playing in a year?
I'd say about 50-ish, 50, 60.
Okay. Well, I think that's great. And I think there's a lot of people around. This is one of the reasons we wanted to showcase you today is to let people know where you're going and what you're going to be doing. How would you, for people that might be tuning in today or hearing this later on recording, how would you tell them to keep up with you? Is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? Where can they go over the next 4 years and kind of keep up with the baseball player, John Mccauley?
I'd go to Twitter at the Butler University baseball account. You can just search it and it'll be on there. They also have an Instagram account, but mainly the Twitters where they live update pretty much everything there.
Awesome, awesome. So now, have you picked out a major? What kind of studies are you going to be going into at Butler?
I'm going into the business department in exploratory business and just kind of feeling around for what I like in the business realm.
All right. So would it be kind of undecided with a lean towards business at this point?
Yes.
All right. So I haven't got to catch up with you much, since basketball season. But tell everybody what's it like this time of year being a high school senior. Your days basically in high school are numbered, and what's going through your mind right now? Is it a hectic time for you? Tell us about being a senior in the last couple of months.
It's pretty hectic, but it's also a little carefree, just kind of enjoying everything. We have prom coming up, and after prom, it's into baseball season and graduation coming up. So just looking forward to all of that and kind of enjoying your time with your friends.
Yeah, yeah. I still remember, being a senior, and it seems like it all hits you there at once. Has it really started to hit you yet that this is the end of your high school career?
It hit me during soccer and basketball season that my days were numbered once I played my last games in those sports, but I don't think it's hit me that I'm leaving yet.
Well, don't you get to play baseball a little bit longer after graduation, or how does that work?
The regional tournament goes till after graduation in the end of the school year. I think once that is over, I think it'll really hit me and just kind of settle in that I'm pretty much done at St. Mary.
Yeah. So you and the guys, big prom dates for this weekend?
Yes, I do have a prom date going with my girlfriend.
And where you guys where do you do your proms at?
The dinner is at Rolling Hills, and then the dance is also at Rolling Hills. So it's pretty much just there.
Okay. Again, anybody watching, we're about an hour late getting started. We had some technical difficulties. I don't know whether to blame them on the weather, blame them on a new piece of equipment that we're using because we're using a new computer. But what I've been told by the tech department is it just takes a while for this app to catch up with the constant changes in Facebook. And so we'll go with that one for now. Talking to John Mccauley from St. Mary's, headed to Butler this year. Hey, John, what will you do this summer? Will you just kind of hang out, or are you going to be playing baseball, or are you weight training? What do you do in the off season before your freshman year of baseball?
The typical thing to do is I'm playing on another summer team called the Nashville Knights, kind of travel around. It's a little more low key since I'm not trying to find a place to go to school to play. So it's just kind of getting experience and some more reps in, then also working out and lifting.
Okay. I guess this will be the first year you don't get summer basketball
I know.
uh, to mix into the baseball schedule. How many games will y'all play with the Nashville Knights?
Around 30 or 40-ish games.
Okay, so that's enough to keep you going.
Yes.
So why'd you choose Butler University?
I really like the location, and I really was sold by the coaching staff. Developed a really good relationship with them, and they've started to build a really good program there, as well as a good university and get a good education for 4 years.
Do you have you talked about what positions you'll be playing and what your role will be? Is there still a little too early for that?
Hopefully come in and contribute immediately on the mound and spot at bats, but I'm not quite sure where I'll play in the field yet. That's still to be decided, but I am gonna pitch and hit and play in the field. I just don't know where I'm gonna play in the field yet. There's a few positions that they're considering.
Do you get up there and watch them play any?
I actually caught them last weekend in a series against St. John's where they lost in extra innings.
Okay. And that's Big East Conference play, I guess.
Yes.
So, well, how's your season going at St. Mary's?
It's going all right. Didn't get off to as good of a start as we would hoped. I think we're 4-5 right now. About to start into the meat of our season, about halfway through, getting to district play, and then into the district tournament and regional tournament, hopefully.
Okay. And where will your district tournaments be?
District tournament is at Brooks Stadium, and I'm not sure where the regional tournament is.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your time at St. Mary. You know, you're not. It's not that normal anymore that you know, a guy like yourself plays 3 different sports. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I'd say that I can contribute playing 3 sports to being at St. Mary's, such a small school. Every single person has to contribute there. I know a lot of my friends play 3 sports as well, and it really brings us closer together, and it keeps you busy.
Keeps you busy. I guess it keeps you in shape too.
Yes, it does. Never really have to worry about getting out of shape because you're always doing something.
Yeah. Do you feel like that competition though, like goes from the soccer field to the basketball court, back onto the baseball field?
Yeah, I think each sport helps each sport. I know a lot of college coaches like athletes who play 3 sports. They like the diversity. People tend to specialize in stuff nowadays, but most college coaches definitely like the versatility that you can play 3 sports and that you're an all-around athlete.
What is it going to be like for the first time in your life to have one sport to focus on 365 days a year?
Well, I think I'll grow a lot as a baseball player since I haven't been able to really focus on the mechanics and the weightlifting. In that, I think I'll get a lot stronger, a lot faster, and get a lot better at baseball. But I'm definitely gonna miss playing basketball and soccer.
Yeah. Well, you can still play pickup and
Yep.
you can show off your skills and maybe walk in on a Butler University basketball practice from time to time.
Yeah, show them what it's like.
So tell us about, I guess in pitching, you have several good pitches. What's your best pitch?
I'd probably say my changeup. I throw a pretty hard fastball, and then when you mix in that changeup, it's pretty good.
Okay, so how fast do you throw a fastball?
About 84 to 88 miles per hour.
Okay. Man, that's faster than even the batting cages that I've ever, and all I could do is just bunt something going that fast.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us we'll talk first sports. Give us, maybe your top 3 memories from your career at St. Mary's, and those can be, basketball memories, soccer memories, or baseball memories. Just if you can go back and give us, a 3-2-1 of the John Mccauley career at St. Mary.
Okay. Well, I'll do one from each sport. So my favorite soccer memory is my junior year making the regional tournament and going there. We ended up with a 500 record that year, which for the soccer program at St. Mary's pretty good, and then advancing to the regional tournament and getting to play there was really special. And then for basketball, I'd say it'd be my sophomore year, knocking out the district tournament, the regional tournament. Probably my favorite game and memory, getting to play as a sophomore. And then for baseball, I would say that it is signing to go play Butler was probably my best memory. Baseball.
That's a pretty full career. Did you play all 4? Did you play all 3 sports for 4 years?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Talk about some of your fellow seniors. The Mark DeNeve, Caden Tillett, Craig. Who am I leaving out?
Parker.
Yep. Talk about playing with those guys and, and playing multiple sports and y'all being best friends and how that carries over to the basketball court and the baseball field and the soccer field.
Well, you don't really need to worry about a chemistry or getting along. We all kind of push each other in each sport. You get a great chemistry and a great friendship that I'm sure will last beyond high school, since we're spending every single day at school together, as well as at practice and games together and traveling everywhere together. Great
So
guys.
how does so you get to push each other. You guys push each other in the classroom, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they're a little bit smarter than me in the classroom, but they definitely push me to get my grades up and everything.
Yeah, just so if they're listening, guys, want to have you guys on sometime in the next month or so, or maybe even a little bit after graduation. But me and John were joking around that we needed you guys when we were going through these tech issues, trying to
Yep.
get this thing up and running. So, but shout out to you guys, love you, miss you. Be talking to you guys soon. Tell us about you said they're smarter than you, but tell us about John Mccauley, the student. Tell us what interests you, what you like to learn, what you like to do. Tell us a little bit about the side of John Mccauley that we don't see on the field or the soccer field or the baseball field or the court.
Well, I'm pretty good at math. I'd say that's my strongest subject. And I like to say that I have pretty decent people skills. So that's kind of what I want to build my college experience and my career around after sports.
Well, let me ask you this question. So, we didn't have the kind of things you had growing up with Twitter and Facebook and cell phones and all that. And I just think it's neat as anything that when you committed to Butler, that you were able to do it on Periscope and Twitter. Have you done any interviews before on Facebook Live or on Periscope, or I'm sure there's Instagram, there's something I'm leaving out. Have you been able to do any interviews in your high school years?
I've gotten interviewed by the newspaper maybe once or twice, and that's about it, other than my day that I signed to go play at Butler. That was about it.
And talk a little bit about social media and high school students. What you guys use it for? I know I tend to notice I don't see a lot of you guys on Facebook, and I don't know if that's because y'all don't want your parents and your coaches and all that like keeping up with you. But what just tell us a little bit. What platforms do you guys use? I feel like these platforms are going to be important for you going forward as you as you choose professions and jobs and stuff like that, and have families and stuff like that. Talk to us about what the high school kids are using.
I'd say mainly Twitter and Instagram. We used Facebook when we were younger, but just kind of stayed away from that. I wouldn't say it's because of parents, because parents are now joining Twitter and Instagram, but we just kind of like those the best and like how we use those, I'd say.
Feel like you got to know those a little bit better, maybe.
Yes.
And I think
Definitely.
for us old people, we tend to like Facebook better because it was the first one we ever used. We don't like learning new platforms and everything. I kind of like Instagram, because it's pictures and not a lot of other fluff. But I think it'll be neat to watch you guys as you go into college and stuff. And it's been so cool as a coach for me to see kids leave and go to college and all their achievements and be able to stay together on social media. We didn't get to do that in our days. If you didn't have somebody's phone number and catch them at home, you basically didn't get to talk to them. And now you guys can, you can FaceTime and keep up with each other. I just think it's really neat for you guys.
Yeah, it's
and neat
really
for your
nice.
coaches. So talk about we'll just back to basketball a little bit. Talk about, because it's something you and I have had in common for 4 years, and talk about your time there with Coach Overstreet, Coach Denson.
Well, I came in as kind of undersized freshman, hadn't really grown yet. Didn't play my freshman year on varsity, and sophomore year kind of started to grow and got some time, played some key minutes and got some experience. And then my junior year, I unfortunately got injured before the season started and didn't really get to contribute how I would have. And then my senior year finally got healthy and got to have a great year and learn a lot of stuff and had fun along the way.
Yeah, and just John, I want to take him back to probably one of the darkest times of his career, but it was his junior year, and if I'm not mistaken, John, it was our last practice before Thanksgiving.
Yes, it was.
And it was like maybe the last 10 minutes of practice, and I saw you come down on that foot, and I think we all knew at that point something was wrong. Talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that injury.
Well, went up for a rebound and a putback, and I grabbed it, and I landed on someone's foot, and my ankle just twisted the wrong way, and I ended up breaking it and having surgery, and it put me out for about a good 3.5 months, and the recovery time took a while to get back up to full speed, and it went into baseball season a little bit, but by the summer of baseball, I was finally 100% ready to go.
Did you have any trouble with it this year?
No, there's a little bit of swelling going on there that will kind of be there for a little bit, and it's a little tighter. Still trying to get it looser and get it more flexible, but other than that, no pain or anything.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what did you learn about John Mccauley, the teenager, the 17-year-old, the kid, having to go through something that, I mean, I know how hard it was on you to watch your teammates out there and not being able to play. I mean, I think one of the first things you told me is I'll be back by the All-A. And I
Hmm.
know you gave it your best, and you almost made it back.
Almost. Well, it just kind of taught me to not take sports or anything for granted because playing three sports, that's much what my life revolves around. And then once that's taken away, you kind of realize how good you have it. And then once it got taken away, kind of just became thankful and wanted to work harder to achieve my goals.
Yeah, maybe slow you down a little bit.
Hmm. Definitely.
So I guess one of the funniest parts of your career, something I can share, is you did make it back. I guess 1st of February or mid-February there of your of last season, your junior year, and we were playing Marshall up at Marshall, and it was a pretty close game. And we checked you in, and they had no scouting report on you. I mean, they just didn't know. They didn't think you were playing. And you came in and made a three, and then you made another three, and then that third three, I saw their coaching staff just looking at each other like, where did this guy come from? Who is
Yeah.
this guy? And it was something that was pretty funny, and just I was really glad for you to be able to get in some games there at the end of the season and make your mark because you'd missed most of the year.
Hmm. It was really good to get that experience, especially going into senior year. Gave some of my confidence back that kind of went away with the injury.
So when you look back on St. Mary High School, what is it you're going to miss?
I'm gonna miss my friends and how close everyone was, and I'm gonna miss playing all three sports.
You got favorite teachers, I guess favorite coaches, and
Hmm.
and magic moments you created with your teams. I know we traveled all around the state, over the course of 4 years and summers and everything. Um, Tell us a little bit about your family.
My mom is at home right now, and I'm not sure what she's doing. Probably making dinner. And then my dad lives in Nashville. They're separated, and he remarried as well as my mom remarried. And I love both of the people they chose to marry. And then I have a little brother Parker who's going to be a freshman this year, so there will still be a Maccauley in all three sports. He plays all three just like I do, as well as my stepbrother Jack, who also plays all three, and then my other brother Sam is a junior, and he just plays baseball and soccer. So
Okay. And then a little sister.
yes, a little sister Carrie, who is in sixth grade right now, going to be going into seventh.
So both of your parents were athletes. I know that.
Mhm.
Do you think that's where you get it from?
I definitely do. My mom was a All-American cheerleader, as I'm sure you know, and
Yes, she
then
was.
my dad played professionally baseball with the Oakland A's, so that's kind of where I think I get my baseball talent.
Chris wasn't a bad football player / golfer himself.
Yeah, Chris was
Knows a
an
thing or two about the state championships.
all-state linebacker and went on to play college golf. Hmm.
Yeah, still a pretty good player to this day.
Hmm.
Well, John, I really hate that we missed that first hour. Whatever us, but it was fun hanging out with you again, and I'm certainly going to keep up with you as you head off to college and everything, and really appreciate you stopping by. Uh, I know it's a busy time of year, like we talked about. It's kind of a whirlwind for you. But I want you to just soak it in and enjoy every moment. And I think you got a lot of fans and friends around this area that like to keep up with you. And, they still get to watch you play a little bit more this year. So any last thing you want to say to your family, your friends, your fans? Anything?
No.
We're just going to be on Twitter tonight.
Yep, just come catch me at a few baseball games this year. Watch St. Mary get a few more wins. I expect to see you there too.
All right, I'm going to make it out. I'm ready. I'm ready for. I don't want to go on one of these days like today, but I want to get out there when it's nice and warm and eat some popcorn and watch some baseball.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. It's a pleasure coaching for 4 years. I've told you that many times, and really getting to serve you as a coach and now as a buddy going forward. And really glad you stopped by. You're the first of our high school showcase, and we want to go around and showcase so many more like high school students in this area. And you're a fine young man, and couldn't be prouder of you and for you.
Thank you, Coach. Means a lot.
We'll have you on. Hey, maybe we'll get you back next year after the freshman year, and we can talk about Butler baseball and college academics.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk later. Thank you.
All right.